Nothing in your life or world has gone wrong. I know those words may not make sense, and you might look at your life now and look at our world and think everything has gone wrong. And I can tell you that's not the case. What is happening is that the world is just waiting for you to become magnificent. The world is waiting for you to own yourself and to discover why you were born, why you're on the earth now, because it was for a very good reason. Nothing happens accidentally in our lives or in the world. It's just that we come to figure it out at different times. I mean, as humans, as civilization, we figure out what is happening. How do we live a better life? How do we create a better world? How do we do all of those things? Well, I was given that plan, and that's what I'm doing. That's what my life was meant to do, was to help you live the best life ever, because then we would create this really wonderful world. Because we're moving through a great transition now, and that is all the information that I've been given from Wilhelm. And that made no sense to me, as your life path might not have made sense, but it could be yelling at you right now. That's what happens when we move through our lives and we resist becoming who we're meant to become, because everybody has that. Then we suffer in all kinds of ways. We don't have we don't have any peace, number one, because we're always anxious. We don't have any confidence. We're like worried. We're afraid. And we probably don't have abundance either, because we're keeping it away from us, because we're refusing to accept ourselves or why we were born. Because I happen to know that every person was born with worth and promise and all of that. But me accepting that was really difficult as well, because it came about a different way. We know that when we come into the world, we all evolve and grow the same way. We just use our brains, our consciousness. But it's been shaped and it's been formed in different ways. And our collective consciousness has been formed as well. So my life was meant to change that. And so Wilhelm said, we're going to give you a new philosophy. Problem will be, a lot of people won't believe that, though, even though I will sit and say, wait a minute, no, it really changes your life. But I'm going to give you some things, because I know it's difficult. I couldn't believe it either, which is why I'm talking about it now, because I have to get out of my own way, because I have a lot of work to do. So do you. That's why you are here. So today there is a message on my site, on Any Advice for Today, that says that nothing in your life or your world, nothing's gone wrong. It's just that you understand how to navigate through whatever might be in front of you to find your genius, to find your success. It's all there. It's within you, and I do know that. Now let me show you this, though, because I have a few things that I'm going to give you. And also, I'm doing a channeling session on Sunday. It's a full moon, and it's a powerful one, and it's the time that we're going to all change. And we're going to change in grand ways if you are willing to love yourself. That's really what it is for all of us. We have to get out of our way and move through those barriers and begin to love ourselves. But it's a process. Well, and that process happens over time, over linear time as we live. My Wilhelm didn't do that. He said, no, everything is happening now, but we don't accept that. So when I was given information, it was over year and year and year. And so now, at 74, I can say it all worked because I'm healed beyond ways that I couldn't explain either. And you might have something like that within you, but you won't discover it unless you are willing to move and open up to who you are and who you can become, because that's always in front of you. But here is this message, and I'm going to show you something else. So I did a couple things. When I put this up, I also made a link there so you can take it with you, because Wilhelm said they wanted to show us how over years we might accept something and then integrate it into our being or in our collective consciousness and then start to live it. But anyway, you can go through all of this, and it will take you through a little journey. And it starts here in 2011, because they just wanted to show that there were certain years, certain things that you would understand. There's nothing, and this first one, and you'll go through each one and you'll see that there's an alignment there. There's nothing more vital for you during your physical life experience than your purpose. everyone has a purpose. We keep walking around thinking we don't have it, but the fact is you're just not willing to discover it. That's what it is, because you have to do something to get there. Then just every single message will show you how we will move through this process of not really understanding what we've been given or what have come through many, many years ago. So as you read through all of these, you will understand so much more about what it will do to change your brain. We each will experience ourselves in our consciousness. There is a universal consciousness, and that's what I tapped into. This is why this work resonates with so many, and I didn't know that was happening because I was just receiving it. That's just another level of consciousness that we all come to understand. Okay, so when you go through each one, you will see that it will help you so much. Here, the 2014. Doubt is one of the most emotional experiences that you can use to either halt or accelerate your expansion. That means, and I can talk about it now because I know it, you're going to have doubt about doing something, and then you're going to sit there and you're going to never move because that doubt is going to just halt you. Or you're going to decide that the doubt is too uncomfortable, and so you have to do something to get rid of it, which is exactly what I'm doing now. Because for years and years, I doubted that I had all of this. But now I know, and I know what you have as well. So I'm going to show you something else that will have this all make sense. But anyway, you go down here, and you'll see everything is a gradual kind of understanding of who you are. Here, low self-esteem is always an inside job. That means we're doing it to ourselves. But that also means that it could have been taught to us. So to get rid of it, we've got to do something to change our own programming. That's all. And this one is giving a little story about something that I went through about anger. And you'll see we will have that. And the anger that you will experience will mostly be at yourself. You think it's about everyone else? It's about you, because you're not moving. You're hearing something and you're not doing it. You'll hear all of that in the video as well. And if you could remember nothing else throughout your life, this sentence might be the most beneficial. Abundance and being yourself are the same thing. It's sometimes hard for us to do that. We don't get there because we have to break down the barriers, and sometimes it takes years. And so this will help you so much to understand that, because that's what I'm giving to you. But then at the bottom, you will see that there is a channeling session that was done December 4th of 2021, and it's called The Purpose of Your Life. Now, if any of you might have been there or heard it, it might not have made much sense to you then. However, if you listen to it today, it will make so much sense. Wilhelm always gives me things in advance because, again, it's not linear time, and I did not understand that or did not know it. Which brings me to something else that I want to explain to everyone, because I am still figuring it out, and that is this little ability that I just discovered that I had developed. You will discover new things about yourself as well, but I'm going to show it to you because it explains so much more. But I'm doing it because also I want us to all know we're never done with developing something when we live, but because sometimes it can be outside of what was known, we don't trust it. The only difficulty you will have is your self-belief. And I know that so well because I couldn't believe I had done this. But every single person born is meant to do something, and you're not going to necessarily believe it because nobody's done it before. That's what happens. But now we have technology that can give us a little more validation, because that's the other thing, that the only thing you're looking for is validation. Who am I? Is this real? Is this what? And it is. And I know that when I'm channeling, I'm connecting with you from a different level of consciousness, and that's why I can answer all the questions. You'll hear that in the video as well. But the fact is, you have the ability to access higher dimensions of consciousness, and the more of us who do that, then things start to change. But the thing that I discovered, and I have links in the video, I want you to have them because they will help you. Wilhelm would give me messages on a particular date throughout years, the same date. I go, why is that happening? And then I started discovering that if I were to, they told me this too, if I were to meet with someone, I would have a message on their birthday in 2012. There was an organization of energies, and so somehow I was receiving that information, and it will align with who they are and what they're meant to be doing in the world now. I doubted all of that until it started showing up, and I'm meeting with people, and that's what was going on. And then we could go to specific years in their lives and say, oh, wow, that's what was going on there. I could never have explained that or talked about it because it didn't make sense, but now it is something that I'm devoting my life to. What's happened is, as I've been discovering this, I've been not living up to what I'm meant to do with so many different things. People, I've been on interviews, I've done so many things. I didn't know how I got there. I didn't know how this happened. You have the same thing. We all have these gifts within us, are just waiting to open up if we become vulnerable enough to see them, and if we stop being afraid. And I was afraid all of my life. I talked about it. That's why I wrote the book. But now let me show you this, because this will probably help you understand a bit more. And I have other links in the video description that'll give you just things to just work with your brain. Everything is mindset. That's all. And so just changing your mindset gets you to open up to greater dimensions of who you are. So this is the other thing that I wanted to show you. We never know who we're going to become when we live, and you must stay open to it's open-ended, meaning that we can become many more people because we have unlimited potential. But what happened was, and you may hear this in some of the Wilhelm conversations, they would say that my purpose was to bring together science, spirituality, and human potential, which has obviously been demonstrated in the healing that I've experienced, but I needed to understand it more because all of the cycles that I would receive, or the patterns, and I'm leaving so many of them in the description of the video so you can have that. But it says, and so I found this Metonic cycle and lunar phases reflect the precise, measurable rhythms of the cosmos. These astronomical patterns illustrate the natural laws governing our universe, providing a scientific framework for understanding time, cycles, and energy. In spirituality, the astrological significance of February 19th, 1989, and its alignment with your natal chart highlights the spiritual dimension of these cycles. Astrology bridges the seen and unseen, offering insights into the soul's purpose and divine timing. Marriage of the two. Wilhelm's messages received on a day of profound cosmic alignment exemplify how spiritual insight can be supported and contextualized by scientific patterns, demonstrating the harmony between these domains, human potential, cycles of growth. Your work with Wilhelm has always emphasized the evolution of human potential through self-awareness, alignment with universal rhythms, practical transformation. That's why they gave it everything on days. Anyway, this is it. And so the 19-year cycle. Yesterday, it was today. I found a video. I'll share a link in here so you can see it. I saw that and it said 19-year cycle, huh? 2005 is when I had the awakening of the dream that I had, and you've probably had these times where something very vivid happened to you. You just thought, this is what I'm supposed to do. I had that in 2005. It's in a video. I will leave a link to that so you can see it. It's been shown several times because I waited for years before I would even write it, because I couldn't tell people this is who I was because it didn't make sense to me. Same thing for you. We always have these things that we're supposed to do that we don't believe, and that's the only difficulty that we will ever have, because we are unlimited beings. So I just created a pathway for you to get there. So I'm doing the channeling session on Sunday, so I'd love for you to come to that. We'll have the links here, and I'll leave a lot of links for you. But also just know that your potential is unfolding, and it's right here. And I know that because that's the changes of the energies in our universe right now. And so I'm going to be completing all of this because this is the kind of work I'm going to give the world. We have to recognize your life matters, and you do leave a legacy. And that means if you decide to love yourself. Love yourself is to do what you came to the world to do, and everyone has it, and I'm so grateful that I could see it. What you will hear in some of those videos, that the greatest difficulty for me was being able to see the perfection of you, and then you couldn't. That was my greatest frustration. You'll enjoy all of these. See you soon.